I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Reba stick a boulder in the water. A Reba tie a cable to a tree.
She's alive! Alive!
You want to see something really scary?
A Reba babbled to the night with a lipstick, perfume, water to a farmer in a truck. Oh, bag it, sell it to the butcher in the store.
Greetings, Greenfield and beyond. This is Reba. That's me, coming to you not so live from Greenfield Community Television, downtown Greenfield. Yes, right there on Comcast, cable 15 channel, whatever. Yeah.
Yes, meow. Anyway, so, yes, welcome to Let It Rip. This is Reba, and we are about to engage on a new adventure. Yes.
Yeah, that. Anyway, how's it going out there? It's finally 2012. Yes, we're finally gonna figure out what's gonna happen this year. Are we all gonna die? Are the poles gonna shift? Oh my God, I cannot wait to find out what's gonna happen. Maybe World War III will finally take place in 2012. You know, I've been waiting for that to happen my whole entire life. Maybe finally we'll find out what all the talk is about. World War III. Whatever. Hugo Chavez made headlines again. Yes, he did. What a guy, that Hugo Chavez, the leader of Venezuela. Cool guy, man. He's the socialist leader of Venezuela, in case you didn't know this, Mr. Hugo Chavez. And he's always vilified in the news, you know. It's like, I'm always wondering, it's like, why did he call George Bush a donkey? You know, why would any world leader want to call George Bush a donkey?
George W. Bush. You are a donkey, Mr. Bush.
So I started doing a little bit of my own research on the subject of that Hugo Chavez, leader of Venezuela. Anyway, it turns out he's a pretty cool guy, I think. I do. And, you know, hopefully I won't get in trouble for saying that. But anyway, he has been battling cancer. Very interesting. And what he said the other day in the news was, let me see if I can be a little more organized here, would be nice. What happened to my article on Hugo? Oh, here it is. Here's Hugo. Hugo Chavez. Okay. He's asking, did the U.S. give Latin American leaders cancer? What an accusation, Hugo. Bad dog. So anyway, Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez speculated on Wednesday that the United States might have developed a way to give Latin American leaders cancer. After Argentina's Cristina Fernandez joined the list of presidents diagnosed with the disease. It was a typically controversial statement by Venezuela's socialist leader, who underwent surgery in June to remove a tumor from his pelvis. But he stressed that he is not making any accusations, and he was just thinking aloud. Yes, I understand this because I do this a lot. Anyway, yes, but he says, this is very, very strange. It's a bit difficult to explain, to reason it, including using the law of probabilities. So when you're using the law of probabilities, the fact that, what is it, 5? Yes, it's 5. Chavez, Fernandez, Paraguay's Fernando Lugo, Brazil's Dilma Rousseff, and former Brazilian leader Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva all have been diagnosed recently with cancer. That's quite the deal, man. So when you consider the law of probabilities, then it is highly likely that somebody is giving these leaders cancer. Interesting idea here, dude. So doctor says Fernandez has a very good chance of recovery and will not need chemotherapy or radiation. Her diagnosis was made public a few Tuesdays ago.
There goes the lipstick. I'm just complaining on lipstick, lip gloss, whatever. Sticky crap. Yes.
Yeah, so anyway, Chavez said other regional leaders should be aware, including his dear friend and close ally, Bolivian President, what's his name? Evo Morales. Evo Morales is a cool guy too. And you know, before I forget, I want to talk about Evo Morales. Evo Morales is a cool guy. Not only does he chew coca leaves to wake up in the morning, but he has just passed the Mother Earth law. That's right, yes, very crazy awesomeness. Crazy awesome, crazy awesomeness. Yes, Bolivia is set to pass the law of Mother Earth. Yes, which will grant nature the same rights and protections as humans. Imagine that. Mother Earth having the same rights as humans? Our self-imposed entitlement programs can go to nature too? Cool!
If I wasn't so busy putting lip gloss on, then I probably would have saved that transition. My bad. Yeah, so anyway, you know, we were just talking about Hugo Chavez and his fancy pants. And he was saying how, you know, they've really got to take care of Evo Morales down there in Bolivia. Bolivia's indigenous leader. And, you know, I agree because this guy is really, really cool. They have, let's see, Bolivia's law gives nature equal rights to humans. Yeah. So Bolivia is set to pass the law of Mother Earth, which will grant nature the same rights and protections as humans. So for the South American countries' leaders, this legislation is part of an unprecedented move to promote a major shift in conservation attitudes aimed at stopping environmental destruction. The legislation will give new legal powers to the government, allowing it to monitor and control industry in the country. It will create 11 distinguished rights for the environment, which include the right to life and to exist, the right to continue vital cycles and process free from human alteration, the right to pure water and clean air, the right to balance, the right not to be polluted, and the right to not have cellular structure modified or genetically altered. Awesome. Can you imagine? I mean, isn't this wonderful? I mean, this is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful news. Unless you're Monsanto. Well, you might be a little pissy about it, but screw them. They're evil anyway. So, but out of the 11, the measure that is potentially the most controversial to some and the most essential to others is the right, the right to not be affected by mega infrastructure and development projects that affect the balance of ecosystems and the local inhabitant communities. That's wonderful. Seriously wonderful. So Morales' words had immediately followed this resolution of the General Assembly, to declare April 27th International Mother Earth Day. And I did report on this that week, I believe. But it's actually been signed into law now. So Morales' party, the Movement Towards Socialism, holds a majority in both houses of parliament. Strong opposition to the new legislation is not expected. For Bolivia, environmental concern runs very deep. And given its place in indigenous beliefs there, the law of Mother Earth is not simply a piece of legislation, but an idea of utmost significance. You know, it really isn't that the way it should be everywhere? I mean, human beings, we've kind of showed ourselves to be pretty freaking stupid on how we constantly, poo in our bed. I mean, that's just not smart. I mean, even baby birds don't like to do that. Even they'll hang their butt over the side of the nest, I mean, what's the matter with humans? Get it right. Anyway, yay for Bolivia. Woohoo. You're listening to me. And, these are Kinks.
Anyway, so Hugo Chavez and Evo Morales, they're very good friends. Yes, they are. And if you would like to learn more about Hugo Chavez and Evo Morales and their friendship down there in South America, you should check out this awesome movie, South of the Border. It's an Oliver Stone documentary all about Hugo Chavez and the Bolivarian Revolution down there in South America. There's a lot of reasons why the United States would vilify Hugo Chavez and potentially want to give him cancer, because he doesn't put up with them. He does not play their game. He does not owe the IMF any money, and he's a huge force in the world oil industry. Yep. Did you know that gasoline is only 19 cents a gallon in Venezuela right now? Yeah, and we're paying what, $3.50, something like that? I don't know, whatever, who cares? Hugo Chavez says, did you just give me cancer, dang it? And so then the U.S. slams back and says, this is reprehensible that Hugo Chavez would even think of such a horrible thing. So anyway, the U.S. State Department on last Thursday, chastised Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez and called his accusations reprehensible. So this allegation, the United States could be giving cancer to the Latin American leaders. Anyway, I'm not even going to read this blah, 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 horse caca, because see, right here, I have an answer for our buddy Hugo Chavez when he asks, is it possible that the United States has developed technology that can give people cancer?
Well, my answer to you, Hugo, is yes. Yes, it is possible, and yes, they do have the technology to do so.
Yes, it is possible. And there's many different ways that they can do it. Yeah, it's very exciting science. Some people might call it electronic harassment. You go tell your doctor, you go tell anybody about, I'm hearing voices. I'm hearing voices and I'm afraid people are watching me. They're gonna tell you that you're schizophrenic and they're gonna give you meds and it's gonna go down your permanent record, and then you'll be the first one they line up to go to the FEMA camps. Whatever. Anyway, so electronic harassment. There's all kinds of ways that you can electronically harass your neighbors, your friends, your enemies. Everybody can get in on this. It's very exciting, yes. So electronic surveillance is an imposed observation of a person's belongings, person or surroundings through the use of Where's my hat? God. See what I mean? It's extremely stressful. Anyway, so yeah, electronic harassment can be incredibly annoying. And believe it or not, it can give you cancer. It can also make you look like you're schizophrenic. Nobody wants to be schizophrenic. Nobody wants to go to their doctor and say, I'm having a lot of problems and I'm hearing voices, my ears are ringing, I don't know what the problem is. And then your doctor's gonna say, well, it's your fault because you're frigging crazy. Nobody wants that. I want a solution. I don't want to be the one to blame. I want a frigging solution, hey. So what's the solution? Well, that's a good question. Where's my Faraday helmet or my copper pot?
Yeah, all right. I forgot my tinfoil hat today, so you don't need to say that. So maybe Hugo Chavez has got a weird stalker who bought an old X-ray gun and he's following him around and pointing it at his crotch because he did just have a tumor removed from his pelvic area. This is not beyond the realm of possibilities when it comes to human behavior. I mean, we are weird. We're sick and twisted.
Whatever. So electronic sabotage and interference called jamming. This is sabotage or interference is any sabotage that is intentionally configuring personal property to either be destroyed or blinded or to cause something to malfunction. So there's that. There's directed harmful high energy devices. They actually have satellites that direct high energy microwave beams at people. And I would, Hugo, I wouldn't doubt it if this is what they used for you. Yeah, and so attacks from high energy microwave weapons leave blisters, cause internal bruising and bleeding, stimulate cancer, cause cataracts, encourage tumors to grow, generate boils, or leave red patches on the skin. Right? Yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff. What I did find out too that's incredibly freaking scary.
You should get rid of your microwaves, by the way. You know that, right? I hope I don't have to tell you this again. I mean, I've ranted about it enough on my show. You should know by now.
I probably shouldn't be talking about this because I really don't want anybody to know how to do it because I think it's really rude. It's really rude.
Yeah, they're freaking stupid. And they've been banned in Russia and Germany for a long, long time. They change the molecular structure of your food, turning them into free radicals, the molecules into free radicals. And it also depletes the nutritional value of your food up to 90%. So that could actually be contributing to America's obesity problems. Because every time you nuke something in your microwave, you're taking all the nutritional value out of it, therefore needing to eat more empty calories.
Maybe I'll get into that a little later. Yeah, anyway, so electronic harassment, all kinds of different stuff. You can go to this website. It's called bugsweep.com. Yes, and they can actually help you. There's companies out there that can help you deal with your electronic harassers, electronic bullies. Yes. Let's see, there's direct contact induction method, magnetic pulse induction method, radiation, implants. Now there's a fun topic. Yeah, so anyway, personal tracking and recovery system. Anyway, yeah, so blah, blah, blah on that.
So you might ask yourself, what is electronic harassment? And it's not just being tasered or being probed, with a cattle prod or something. That's electronic harassment too, man.
Radio waves do more than just bring music to your radio. Yes, they can harass you, annoy you, make your life miserable, make your ears ring nonstop. Yes. They also carry signals for your television and cellular phones. Yeah, cool, huh? What do you think about this when you think about the fact that not only does our government have the technology to ring your brain whenever they feel like it, and they do. So anyway, absolute power corrupts absolutely. We know this. And it's a pretty scary idea. But no greater evidence of this is shown than when someone believes that they have the ability to act without consequence. And that's what electronic harassment is. There's no consequence to electronic harassment. Except maybe when you're chasing your cat around with a laser, he might run across your bare foot with his claws and draw some blood or something. That might be a consequence to your kitty electronic harassment. But, anyway, there's no consequences. There's nothing written in legislation anywhere about what to do when you feel you're being electronically harassed. There's really no proof. And it's very hard to prove. But you may be a victim. I want to talk about victimhood because, here in America, everybody loves to be a victim. Oh, the victim mentality is like everywhere. Right? Yeah, okay. Somebody's electronically harassing me. Who is that? Who is that electronically harassing? Stop it. See, there's no ramifications for the actions of an electronic bully. They could just get away with it. And no, I'm not going to chase that in circles on the floor. Screw you, hey. All right, so you might be a victim of electronic harassment if somebody's pointing a laser at you while you're trying to do a television show. Okay, so you might be a victim of electronic harassment if you experience visual distortions and hallucinations. Yep.
What I like about you.
Whatever. And I read an article the other night about it, that part of the silent sound spread spectrum and other electronic harassment type things, less technologically advanced than the SSSS waves, will produce like little ripples of fog. So if you think that you see a ghost, it's like when people think that they see ghosts, like you see a little ripple of fog in your peripheral vision. It usually takes place in your peripheral vision. And I'm just going to go down a whole list of stuff that suggests that you might be a victim of electronic harassment. Okay, so you might be experiencing reading thoughts remotely, retrieving memories, and implanting personalities. Like all of a sudden you're just a different person. A couple minutes ago you're really nice and happy and good lucky, and next minute you're all pissed off and stuff. So erratic behavioral changes is a symptom of being electronically harassed. You experience debilitating mental acuity, inability to concentrate, disruption of ability to think rationally and independently. Does this sound familiar? You experience loss of memory and knowledge. You experience inadequate states which target individuals have never experienced before, states of narcotic intoxication, depression, obsessive desires, and so on. Wonder. Yes, so you also could experience blurred vision. You experience burning sensations on your skin or internal organs. Excruciating artificial pain in any part of the body, including heart attacks and other serious medical conditions such as cancer. So yes, Hugo, yes, Hugo, it is possible. And you know this. You don't need me to tell you. So you feel pinpricks on various parts of your body, cramps, seizures, and spasms. You feel some type of energy moving inside your body that that's probably not a parasite. Well, parasite in a different form, electronic bullying. Anyway, so you experience extreme head pains. And these head pains might just come all of a sudden, bam, all of a sudden you just got this kind of head pain that you can't get rid of. And that's nobody likes that. It's no fun. It's not friggin' fair, hey. So you feel drop in your tracks fatigue. Like all of a sudden you're just like, just all of a sudden tired. You continually have difficulty sleeping, like you're always having a hard time sleeping if you're being electronically bullied. Control sleep patterns, sleep deprivation, and uncontrollable sleep. You experience forced speech.
Well, a very, very heavy debatation tonight. We had a very Darrison, but let's go to Terracing those for the head of the pit.
She just started babbling, and she made no sense, completely incoherent speech, and they had to like take her to the hospital because she couldn't speak. All of a sudden she couldn't speak. Well, within like, I think it was a month or two, the same thing happened to Judge Judy. Judge Judy had to be taken out, taken out to the hospital. And what I found really funny was the State of the Union address. President Obama's State of the Union address was soon thereafter, and he was stuttered so many times throughout the whole speech. So I wonder if these direct energy weapons that they have all over the place and the multitude, hundreds of different radio waves that are permeating our bodies at every given moment, the friggin' obnoxious fluorescent frickin' lights that scramble everything up and make it even weirder, are affecting our brain activity. Duh. Yeah, so you experience uncontrolled by you, like you can't control them, movements of your limbs and other body parts, like, you know, it's like when you're falling asleep. Have you ever been just like falling asleep and you're going into the toilet and all of a sudden you're just like, you like have this big jerk, like a jerk, you know, or your leg jerks. Does that ever happen to you? It happens to me all the time, like almost every night. So can I blame an electronic bully? Bastards, leave me alone. God. So has that ever happened to you? Anyway, it happens to me. Yep, and then sometimes you hear voices of other people inside your mind with no other signs of mental distress. So electronic harassment can really, really put a damper on your lifestyle. Ugh. Oh. Dude! Freak.
What kind of woman is this?
Okay. The activity occurs when you have reached the rapid eye movement stage of sleep. Your brain at this stage is entrained by ELF, which deepens your sleep, thus eliminating the prospect of your being cognizant of the quasi-subliminal auditory input being pumped into the back of your skull. Nice. By bone conducting means. Microwaves, yeah. And I'm sure you've all tried to put an egg in the microwave. What happens? It go boom! Big mess. Can you imagine sticking a brain in a microwave? Or the skull, you know, the skull with the brain inside. It might do the same thing and go boom, blow up. Gross. Big mess. So anyway, yes, the quasi-subliminal auditory input is what influences the course of your dreams. In a semi-conscious state, you can physically recognize this attempted input as resembling short bursts of transmissions, which, when impacting upon the back of your skull, create a hissing sound, kind of like your brain frying. I really don't like the idea of my brain frying. That scares me. That's why I decided I would never do hard drugs, because I like my brain the way it is. So the idea of somebody f***ing with my brain without my permission is really irritating. So anyway, and this generally occurs, generally occurs in 5-second intervals. So keep track. And this can be blocked, however. All that is required is that you protect the back of your skull. I would just recommend getting yourself a copper pot, sticking on your head, like what Sue said a little while ago anyway. Okay, and so, yeah, so that's electronic harassment, something we should all be aware of, because it is my belief and understanding that our awareness is our only protection against things like this. Granted, you know, you can build yourself a Faraday cage, you can go live in the pyramids of Egypt, No, you can't really do that. But did you know the pyramids of Egypt do not, no EMFs, no radiation can get in the pyramids. Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? Anyway, whatever.
You want to see something really scary?
Scary news. Cell phones are more dangerous than smoking. So keep smoking. Just don't talk as much. Right? So anyway, cell phones are more dangerous than smoking. This is what a brain expert warns of a huge rise in tumors and calls on industry to take immediate steps to reduce radiation. Scary news. So mobile phones could kill far more people than smoking or asbestos, a study by an award-winning cancer expert has concluded. He says people should avoid using them whenever possible, and that governments and the mobile phone industry must take immediate steps to reduce exposure to the radiation. A study by Dr. Vinny Kurana is the most devastating indictment yet published of the health risks involving cellular phones. It draws on growing evidence exclusively reported in the iOS in October that using handsets for 10 years or more can double the risk of brain cancer. Cancers take about a decade or so to develop, invalidating official safety assurances based on earlier studies, which included few, if any, people who had used cell phones for that long. We haven't even been using them long enough to conduct proper studies. You know, it's like just like a train wreck. You know, it's just human beings are a train wreck. You know, it's just because we can build something and utilize it for our own convenience doesn't mean that it's going to be good for us. And then, you know, once we realize, oh wow, this is going to kill us, man. This is going to kill our children. This is going to kill everybody. Holy crap! We better stop this. You know, it's too late. There's too many people making a ton of money off of it, and nobody wants to stop it. You know, hence nuclear power, hence, you know, freaking bleach, asbestos, all that crap. You know, it takes, how much time does it take for us to figure it out? Anyway, whatever. Okay, so earlier this year, the French government warned against the use of mobile phones, especially by children. Germany also advises its people to minimize handset use, and the European Environmental Agency has called for exposures to be reduced. Professor Kurana, a top neurosurgeon who has received 14 awards over the past 16 years, has published more than a dozen specifically scientific papers, reviewed more than 100 studies on the effects of mobile phones. He has put the results on a brain surgery website, and a paper based on the research is currently being peer-reviewed for publication in a scientific journal. He admits that mobile phones can save lives in emergencies, but concludes that there is significance and increasing body of evidence for a link between mobile phone usage and certain brain tumors. He believes this will be definitely proven within the next decade or so. So noting that malignant brain tumors represent a life-ending diagnosis, well, unless of course you go to Dr. Brzezinski down there in Houston, Texas, and seek out his treatment, then he could probably save your life. But you'd have to beat your way through a whole bunch of bureaucratic FDA bull caca in order to receive his treatment without a bunch of poisonous radiation and chemotherapy. That's like a whole nother topic, isn't it? But whatever. You know, there's other cures for cancer that have been suppressed that maybe I'll talk about on another show at some other time. But anyway, a brain tumor is a life-ending diagnosis. The death rate will be observed to rise globally within the next decade, by which time it may be far too late to really intervene medically. Pretty scary stuff there, folks. So it's anticipated that this danger has far broader public health ramifications than asbestos or smoking, says Dr. Kurana, whatever his name is, who told the iOS his assessment is partly based on the fact that 3 billion people now use cellular phones worldwide, 3 times as many who smoke. Smoking kills about 5 million people worldwide each year, and exposure to asbestos is responsible for as many deaths in Britain as road accidents. Wow. So, How do you feel about your brain frying from talking on the phone? You know, they're not going to ban them. I mean, just like cigarettes. They didn't ban cigarettes. They just put these warnings all over them, and then you have a choice whether or not your dumbass wants to use them and die. Instead of taking, you know, my normal assumption, Reba's normal assumption is to say, oh my God, there's an evil agenda. There's evil scientists out there that are all trying to kill us. And cell phones is just a part of that conspiracy. Instead of, you know, taking that normal route of mine and blaming the government or evil scientists for all of the world's perilous things, I need to think about the fact that maybe we're just on that train wreck, you know, where we're just trying to make as many cool things as possible. Do it, do it, do it. And then we don't even pay attention to the environmental or the health ramifications of our actions, of our inventions, until it's too late. Hopefully that's the case. I would prefer it be an act of human complete frickin' ignorance and stupidity than there be an evil governmental agenda. But I tend to think that there's an evil government agenda too. There's probably a little bit of both in there, you know, whatever. So moving on. Let's see. Did that. Yes. So there was a 4.0 earthquake that struck Ohio last week. Did you guys hear about this? Yeah. In McDonald, Ohio, officials said Saturday that they believe the latest earthquake activity in northeast Ohio is related to the injection of wastewater into the ground near a fault line, creating enough pressure to cause seismic activity. And this is really intelligent human behavior. Hey man, we don't know what to do with our waste, so let's pump it into a fault line. Yeah! The brine wastewater comes from drilling operations that use the so-called fracking process to extract gas from the underground shale. But the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Director Jim Zeringer said during a news teleconference that fracking is not the cause of the quakes. Okay, let's see. You're just injecting wastewater, high-pressure wastewater, into a fault line. And you have a 4.0 earthquake that's a little rare for the area, and it's not the fracking. Doesn't make any sense. So anyway, the seismic events are not a direct result of fracking. So this was published on December 31st, 2011. And then here we have wastewater well in Ohio triggered by quakes. Whatever. So a northeast Ohio well used to dispose of wastewater from oil and gas drilling almost certainly caused a series of minor quakes in the Youngstown area since last spring. A seismologist investigating the area said on Monday, that was last week, whenever the hell that was. So the now shuttered injection well at Youngstown and seismic activity, but it might take a year for the wastewater-related rumblings in the earth to dissipate. Said John Armbruster. I really hate reading people's names. God. And you'd think I'd be pretty good at it considering what a weird name I have. But anyway, this dude, Armbruster of Columbia University, whatever, Earth Observatory in whatever, New York. There you go. So brine wastewater dumped in wells comes from drilling operations. Oops. Whatever. So thousands of gallons of brine water were injected daily into the Youngstown well that opened in 2010. See, the direct energy weapons are getting me, Sue. Direct energy weapons. They're hitting me with it right now because my brain's all scrambled and I can't think. I can't even read. And this guy that said that it's not from the fracking wells, he's the director, Jim Zeringer. He's a jackass because they just got, then 2 days later, on January 3rd, 2012, the USGS comes out and says, well, yeah, it's caused by the fracking. So, Jim Zeringer, you're a jackass. That wasn't very nice, but whatever. It's not very nice to like inject the earth with your frickin' trash, right? So let's see. All right, let's move on. Moving on. In more Earth science news, The Daily Mail stirs up some Euro anxiety with a headline. Yes, you're all gonna die. Is a supervolcano just 390 miles from London about to erupt? 390 miles from London. Can you imagine? So the little-known Lacher See volcano in northwest Germany last erupted 12,000 years ago. Scientists believe it's due to erupt again. Wow. So anyway, there's all kinds of things that can really just wipe us out here on Earth, you know, all kinds of things. And have you ever noticed that, like, humanity has been obsessed with the idea of doomsday forever? You know, every ancient civilization has been whining about the end of the end days forever. It's like, oh my God, it's the end of the world, we're all gonna die. You know, there's birds falling from the skies, tsunamis, earthquakes, comets, you know, what else? Now we gotta worry about a freaking volcano in Germany.
And then we have the Yellowstone volcano in the United States. Yeah, that's a doozy. If that one goes off, we're all screwed. Yes, we're screwed. You might think that you can grow tomatoes in your basement, but it's not gonna happen.
But isn't that what life on Earth is all about? I mean, that's the cycle of life. And just because human beings are obsessed with pain and suffering and fear and worry doesn't mean that the world's gonna end. It just means that eventually you will die. And the exciting thing about that is you just really don't know how you're gonna die, and there's just a plethora of amazing ways you can. You know, it's like if I could choose, I think I'd probably wanna go like, I don't know, if I could choose, I'd wanna go quietly in my sleep because I'm a big pussy. But, you know, doomsday is a state of mind. And the more we focus on things, such as doomsday, and the perils of Earth, and worrying about all the horrible things that can happen to us, is it possible for us to be manifesting that as a reality? If we come together as a collective whole, and that collective whole, our collective consciousness, is all busy worrying about FEMA camps and the police state, and oh my God, NASA didn't tell us the truth about this comet or that comet or whatever. Are we going to end up manifesting that as our reality? Well, there's many quantum physicists out there that believe that's true. Very interesting topic on that.
We have arrived.
Yeah, so don't go around worrying your little butt off about things that have not happened, because if you don't want them to happen and you're busy thinking about it constantly, chances are it's going to happen. So that's food for thought.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat. Facing an alien threat. I occasionally think how quickly our difference worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. Facing an alien threat. Facing an alien threat. Facing an alien threat.
This is Houston. Say again, sir.
Facing an alien threat. Facing an alien threat.
In UFO news, a baffling fireball report has gained the attention of an international UFO research agency. That would be MUFON. That's right. The Mutual UFO Network will come to Richland County to investigate a report registered with their agency. On November 23rd, this dude, Rick somebody of wherever, Graham Road, said he saw what seemed to be a fireball shoot from the sky. You think that might be a comet or something? Because about the same time, there was a strong quadranted. How do you say that? How do you say that? Anyway, there was a strong meteor shower, one of 2012's best, peaked last week, approximately the same time that this Lexington fireball was witnessed. Yeah, so anyway, MUFON's going to check into that. That's good, so now we don't have to worry about it. All right. That's UFO news. UFO news. Law.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat. Facing an alien threat.
Hi. How's it going? Yes, yes. In animal news, wild gorillas groom U.S. tourists in Uganda. Yes. So if you have a nice case of head lice, it's a good idea to go to Uganda and have a grooming by a gorilla. That'd be cool. In animal news, wild gorillas groom U.S. tourists in Uganda. A troop of wild mountain gorillas recently turned a typical ecotourism encounter upside down when the animal paid a visit to a tented camp in Uganda's Bwindi International whatever park. Yes, so the video footage shows a baby and an adult gorilla approaching U.S. tourist John J. King. Now there's a simple name I can get behind. Thank you, John J. King, too. I could say that name. So sitting with him and even grooming him.
Maybe I think he may have had bugs. You never know. They do like those things.
As he sits in quiet amazement. Isn't that cool?
Or maybe that he just felt his love radiating through the universe. He's like, oh, I love you too. He went over and said hello. That's so nice. Yay, I love happy animal stories. Good thing he didn't get his ass kicked by Papa Bear. You know, big silverback Papa dude there. That would not be good. No, not good at all.
Nobody wants a beating by a big daddy gorilla, and that would not be good. Yes, so that's animal news. Yay, animal news! So I find it very interesting, the whole, quantum physics thing, the whole law of attraction and thoughts become things, and the ability to manifest things with our beliefs. It's amazing. There's many studies that have taken place over the years on this phenomenon, especially when it comes to group activity and the collective consciousness of species, not just humans. Something that I've known, that my grandfather gave me this book, The 100th Monkey, a long time ago, before I could really appreciate it. But in case you haven't read the book or know anything about the 100th Monkey effect, then you should rustle your little ass out there down to the World Eye bookstore and get yourself a copy of The 100th Monkey. Very, very amazing story. And essentially the 100th Monkey effect is a supposed phenomenon which a learned behavior spreads instantaneously from one group of monkeys to all related monkeys once a critical number is reached, a tipping point. And the story is, let's see, I don't want to screw it up, so maybe I'll read it from here. Blah, 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 whatever. Blah, 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 so wait, where is that? So anyway, the 100th monkey effect. Scientists did a study with 2 troops of monkeys years ago, somewhere out in the middle of the ocean. Each troop lived on a different island, completely independent from each other, right? They started dropping sweet potatoes on the beach for the monkeys to eat. Well, one little female monkey decided she was going to take that potato down to the beach and wash it, right? Because she was tired of chewing on sand. I mean, who wants to eat sand? Monkeys don't even want to eat sand. I don't want to eat sand. Do you want to eat sand? No. So that was a smart little girl monkey. Anyway, she went down, she started washing her potatoes. Well, her friends and family and her little monkey troop watched her do this. And they're like, hey, that's a really good idea. Let's try that. The theory is that once a certain amount of people believe in a specific thing, that it will happen. They did a study in Washington, D.C. with the police department there when D.C. was had the highest murder rate in the world, right? And they got people together to meditate on the mall there in D.C. on peace and love, and crime was reduced 25%. So it is possible that if we all begin to focus on the things that we do want in life, such as love and peace and harmony and prosperity and abundance for all, then that will begin to happen. So it's dangerous for us to continue worrying all the time. That's why mainstream television and media is freaking evil. You don't want the fear-mongering in your home. We don't need it. There's enough crap going on in the world that really doesn't even involve you as an individual on your daily basis. Your daily life. It doesn't matter what's going on in freaking Libya in your daily life. So to worry about it and to be disturbed by it and to just be focused on, why is there so much war in the world? Oh my God, everybody's killing everybody in the police state. And oh my God, FEMA camps. And oh my God, cancer. And oh my God, this. And oh my God. The more you focus on the evils of the world, the more evil will manifest. Now, I don't think it's important for us to deny the things that are happening or to turn away from the terrible things that are happening. We need to remain focused on what's happening and spread awareness to every corner of the world on what is taking place in the world. But we have got to focus on the solution. And if you ask me, the only sane and satisfactory solution to the problem of human existence is love. So if you're busy fear-mongering and worrying about doomsday and worrying about this and worrying about that and complaining about this and complaining about that, well, shame on you, man. Get with it. It's all about love. It's all about love. It's pretty freaking easy, man. It's all about love. The social and cultural benefits of people seeking love and pleasure versus war and profit, then that would add to the collective consciousness of humanity. So of course, when you ask the question, because I've asked this question a lot, and I haven't asked it yet now, have I? So maybe you're wondering what I'm going to ask. Why is it that our world glorifies war, pain, misery, suffering, yet vilifies and illegalizes prostitution, sex, pornography? Why is that? Why is that? Why would world governments and religions make sex and sexuality and seeking pleasure such a bad taboo? Why? Does it empower the people? Does it give us the power of love versus being easily manipulated and controlled through fear? I think so. Yes!
There's so many things that are just working to kill us. That's why we need to focus on love. Yes, because if we focus on the love that we have in our hearts, then not only are we going to find love everywhere we go, but perhaps everybody will begin to heal.
And you've been watching Let It Rip with Reba right here at GCTV, Comcast Channel 15.
Are you off your fucking meds or something?
I know that you got a job, Miss Cheney, but your husband's heart problem's complicated. Testing, attention please. Feel the tension soon as someone mentions me.